A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic turn of events, Chancellor Rachel Reeves has unveiled a budget that is set to reshape the financial landscape of the UK, echoing the bold spending strategies of past Labour governments. With a historic increase in public spending of nearly £70 billion a year, this budget marks a significant shift in fiscal policy, aiming to address the pressing needs of the nation's public services. Reeves, who made her debut as Chancellor, harked back to the Labour governments of the past, particularly the transformative years of 1945, 1964, and 1997, when Labour came into power to tackle the country's economic challenges. This latest budget is reminiscent of the mid-1960s, characterized by a vision of a larger state aimed at modernizing the economy. The Labour Party has long advocated for spending levels comparable to those of other European nations, and Reeves has delivered on those calls. The budget includes substantial increases in funding for the NHS, education, the armed forces, and infrastructure, with half of the funding source from increased taxes and the other half from additional borrowing. This represents the largest increase in health spending since 2010, according to the Office for Budget Responsibility, OBR. The figures are staggering. Spending is projected to rise by £70 billion, taxes by £40 billion, and borrowing by £32 billion. By the end of the current parliamentary term, public spending as a share of national output is expected to reach 44%, a significant rise from pre-COVID levels in 2019. This budget also brings record-high tax levels, with many on the left praising Reeves for finally aligning spending with their long-standing demands. One of the key aspects of this budget is the promise to enhance public services without placing additional financial burdens on ordinary citizens. Reeves made the strategic decision not to raise fuel duty despite a recent drop in crude oil prices, and she opted against extending the freeze on tax allowances and thresholds. Instead, the focus has shifted toward businesses, with an increase in employers' national insurance contributions projected to raise £25 billion annually. However, the OBR warns that by the end of the decade, this figure could dwindle to £16.1 billion as businesses may respond to increased costs by reducing hiring and limiting wage growth. While Reeves emphasized that these tough decisions were necessitated by the previous Conservative government's economic mismanagement, critics argue that the budget carries inherent risks. Financial markets may react negatively as they digest the implications of this expansive spending plan. Initial reactions indicated a modest rise in borrowing costs for government debt, although experts do not anticipate a repeat of the turmoil witnessed after Kwasi Kwarteng's budget in 2022. A more pressing concern is whether the significant tax increases, spending boosts, and additional borrowing will yield tangible improvements in the economy. The OBR has indicated that the higher national insurance contributions could negatively impact business investment, leading to lower growth projections for the coming years. In her speech, Reeves outlined several key tax hikes designed to bolster the nation's finances. Among these are increased national insurance contributions for employers, a rise in stamp duty for second homes, and a freeze on fuel duty. Additionally, capital gains tax rates will see an increase, with the lower rate rising to 18% and the higher rate to 24%. The Chancellor also announced a reform of inheritance tax, aiming to streamline and enhance the efficiency of the tax system. Despite the ambitious spending plans, the opposition has not held back in their criticism. Tory representatives have labeled the budget a reckless gamble, echoing sentiments from independent experts like Paul Johnson from the Institute for Fiscal Studies, who cautioned that Reeves' approach could have far-reaching consequences. As part of this extensive budget, tobacco duty will also see a significant increase, with prices for cigarettes set to rise by 90p per pack. The Chancellor stated that tobacco duty would increase in line with inflation, leading to a rise in the price of a standard pack of cigarettes to £16.78. This move has drawn criticism from campaigners who argue that such tax increases disproportionately affect lower-income individuals. Simon Clark, director of the smokers' lobby group Forest, expressed concern that higher taxes would push more smokers towards the black market, adversely affecting legitimate retailers and punishing those from poorer backgrounds. The government has historically relied on tobacco taxes as a substantial revenue source, having collected £10.7 billion in 2022 alone. As the dust settles on this ambitious budget, The nation awaits to see whether the promised investments will translate into real improvements in public services and the economy at large. The Chancellor's commitment to invest may resonate with voters, but the true test will be the budget's impact on the lives of ordinary citizens and the overall health of the UK economy in the years to come. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.